Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
And we're back again. That means you are too, right here on The Local Show. Thank you for joining us. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studio, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. Also on YouTube, if you look us up on YouTube and you get past all the girls in yoga pants, you'll find Zoey.
You're the one that gets, Tom, I get car chases and fishing videos. Why do you suppose?
I don't know, because I'm more of a man than you, obviously.
You are. They like, in his profile, used to be a weightlifter, was an athlete. They look at me and go, the guy's been a photo geek since he was 12. So they send me redneck fishing photo videos, you know?
Good golly. You know, I was doing a project for the wife and for her real estate stuff, and I came across a bunch of Oneida Lake fishermen who are videotaping themselves now, on the water.
They use tape.
And, video.
That's old school.
I'll tell you what, it got my juices flowing. I was getting excited because they were pulling out fish left and right.
Yeah, but here's what they don't show you. The 14 hours, they caught nothing.
Well.
and it's like, oh, got another one.
Because they're actually catching fish. You and I, there might be 14 hours in between.
It is. I am a lazy fisherman. The guys are like, okay, what's the water temperature? What color is the cloud? The barometric pressure. Wait a minute. I change it by. I'm like, okay, I'm here. Can I fish?
I'll tell you what. The one thing I saw at the boat show were those really cool 3-dimensional fish finders now.
Yes.
And those are really nice.
They're not as, they used to be so awkward. It's like, you can tell by
it would look like Pong, It
right.
would be the little fish. Now you're really seeing the topography of the.
My dad, love him. He used to say, did you catch anything there? No, but I marked a lot of fish. What is it?
Marked them.
I marked a lot of fish. We're marking them now.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you eat that for dinner? Where's the mark? You get in, you would mark them, but they weren't. And I always found that, I haven't even thought of that. And he was like, I'm marking a lot of fish.
Well, before we introduce our guest, did you want to talk about Charlie and the Mattress Makers?
I want to talk about Charlie and the Mattress Makers.
Sounds like a variety show.
It does. And there's so many, I don't want to offend anybody. Maybe I will. I don't know. There's so many mattress companies out there. Mm-hmm. Buy a mattress, buy a mattress, buy a mattress. There's a sale today. It ends in 5 minutes.
Right.
Buy a mattress, win a new car.
Get an oxen.
Yeah, whatever. Charlie, what a craftsman. I was back over there a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And you go into that factory, and at Mattress Makers, you're buying from the factory.
Right.
You're seeing them, you're buying them right there. You're paying wholesale below weight, but you're buying it right there.
Mm-hmm.
But what a lot of great questions they ask. I got a mattress from Carol over there here a month or two ago.
Yes.
And they just ask the right questions, and you don't feel like you're being sold. There's none of that. Mm-hmm. And they're just amazing. If it's time to update a mattress and you go anyplace else, you went to the wrong place. Go talk to Charlie. Talk to Carol, the folks at Mattress Makers, Bridge Street, right there behind Henry Wilson Jewelers. There's no pressure. You can check it out. You can talk to them. They have the organics. They're just amazing folks, and I just highly recommend them. And I slept on that mattress last night, Tom.
Very good. Well, better than the couch for you.
Yeah. I wasn't in trouble. I slept on the mattress.
Right. Actually, we're allowed. All right. It's our pleasure to introduce a new guy to the show, and his name is Anthony Tringale. He's the owner of EatLocalNewYork.com. How are you, Anthony?
Doing good, guys. Thanks for having me.
So when your parents named you, they named you Anthony. Did they say, I don't want people calling him Tony?
I don't know how it went with my parents when I was a kid, but in our family, it's always been Anthony. Unless you're an uncle, then it's Uncle Tony.
Yes.
So I'm Uncle Tony, and we just had our first son. My wife and I is 3.5 months.
Oh, God bless you.
Is his name Anthony?
His name's Anthony.
There we go.
And we won't let people call him Tony.
Very nice.
How about little Tony?
No, not yet. Little Anthony.
And when we were having our first kid, I said if it was going to be a boy, which we happen to have 2 girls before we had our boy, I wanted an Anthony. But my wife didn't want an Anthony because she figured everybody called him Tony. So we have a Nicholas. And we named him Nicholas when we don't want anybody calling him Nick. But he calls himself Nick.
I call him. Should I call him Nicholas?
Nicholas, I think so.
I love your son.
I love
I love your
Nicholas.
kids. They're great. But don't call him Anthony.
That's right. Hey, stick with one kid, by the way. That's my fatherly advice.
Or wait 20 years and have another like Tom did.
Yeah, we had a late in life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we got a 16-year-old and then we got a 25-year-old. So
Oh, my gosh.
a little bit of a spread in there, and then a 23-year-old. So it's nuts. Anyway, let's talk about you. Eat Local New York. What is it that you do? What do you do for a living, and what is this Eat New York stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, we just promote locally owned restaurants.
Okay.
And try to help people choose local as opposed to going to a chain or a franchise, things like that.
Is it just for the central New York area?
No, it's across the state. We have restaurants
really?
in Buffalo, Rochester, out in Auburn, tons here, over 100 here in Syracuse.
Are you going to them and reviewing them?
So we don't really do reviews per se. I try not to put anything negative out about a restaurant. If there is a place we go to and we don't care for it, we just don't talk about them.
Gotcha.
How courteous is that?
Oh, that's very nice. Not much fun, but it's pretty nice.
I mean, I will say, we have Instagram subscribers, and so they can pay $5 a month and get exclusive content.
Okay.
And I had 15. And the first week I went on there, I was like, all right, subscribers, you get to know the restaurants I don't like. And after I put that video out, I lost five subscribers.
I thought you were going to say it went way up.
No, so people I don't think really want the negativity. They want to hear about the good places.
So you go to restaurants.
Yep.
And do what?
Go out to eat, try their food. Same thing you do. I just take, you might take pictures of the food, but I take more detailed photos of the food and then post it on social media.
To what end?
In terms of how far, what's
your objective? No, what's your objective?
My objective is to tell my followers about great local restaurants. Maybe it's a great dish. Right now we're focusing on, we're going to be putting out Eat Local New York's top 76 restaurants in Central New York.
Top 76.
And
out of what? Out of 1,000?
Well, out of all of them, really.
It's a nice round number.
And I'm kind of modeling it after my favorite food critic, Jonathan Gold from Los Angeles, LA Times.
Okay.
And so he used to put out his 101 top restaurants list. And so we're doing the same thing this July. It's going to launch on his birthday, which is the 28th of July. And just trying to find great restaurants that produce really wonderful food.
To let consumers know.
Yeah. Okay. So back up a little bit. How did you become all about food? Were you born with food?
What makes you so
such
the
a foodie?
Authority? Yeah,
we grew up. Well, I don't know if I am the authority, but I'm definitely a loud authority. We grew up in food and hospitality. Growing up, my parents, we were always in church, and if there's one thing my parents are really gifted at, it's hospitality.
Gotcha.
And across the board, that could be.
Isn't that like a biblical reason to eat too much?
Well, it is.
Gift
And then
of
you get
hospitality. Hey, let's have a party.
Then you get to the gluttony section.
Right. That's in there too. Okay, that's fine.
Yes, yeah.
So we just grew up in that. When I was 8 or 9 years old, my parents had a diner for a year in Kentucky when we lived there, and I was homeschooled, which meant I learned how to wash dishes that year commercially. And so just growing up, I knew the struggles small restaurant owners faced. So when I came back to Syracuse as an adult and started to build a social media following, I decided, if there's one thing I want to do with it, I want to help some of these struggling locally independent restaurant owners by being able to tell the public about how great they are and drive traffic to them.
So would you consider yourself a vlogger, blogger, podcaster?
Yeah, all of the above.
Yeah,
I mean,
all those things.
On social media, we put out a new show every day of the week.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's interesting. Can we keep you around and we'll talk to you a little bit more about this? Okay. Anthony Tringale right there. He's the owner of Eat Local New York. Is that right? EatLocalNewYork.com. And we're going to talk to him and continue to talk with him right here on the Local Show on 570 WSYR.
Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Thanks for sticking around. You've got the local show on this midwinter's day. Been kind of mild, so we're fortunate.
It snows, it stops. It snows, it stops.
I mean, I really haven't had to pull out the snowblower once.
Yeah.
I don't even knock wood, you know?
Well, that's not wood.
Whatever this is.
I'm a fan of winter, Tom.
Oh, I know you love it. Yeah.
I do not. I'm a fan of winter south of the border, so... but it's okay. Spring's coming April 1st, first day of trout season.
Hey, public service announcement, and I don't know why we have to do this, but we do. Don't go on the lake. It hasn't been cold enough.
Are they
nuts?
Where passion meets stupidity.
Oh
There's like a line there, and if you have to float on an iceberg to ice fish, here's a thought: don't do that.
Oh my gosh! And I've been out there for close to 30 years, and it amazes me that when we get these not very harsh winters, that people still want to go out there.
If there's open water, here's a thought.
Right,
there's open water.
Yeah, don't even think about it.
I mean, I was out there years ago when they used to race cars out there.
Oh yeah.
They used to have the Renault, the cars racing down the birds. It was awesome, but the ice was 6 foot thick.
Yeah. See, you get a good month of January freezing, 15 degrees. You're fine, but not now.
Hey, Tom, I have a transition.
Yes,
if you're going to do that, you should talk to Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts first. Okay? My transition. Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, they just did a workshop here last week. I think there were about 50 folks there learning how to protect their home and life savings.
Sure.
Getting their stuff together. Because if you don't have a plan, the government has a plan for you.
Right.
It ain't good.
No.
And it will. If you don't put things in the right boxes, the government is going to take them out of those boxes. So, if it's time to do that, if you haven't done it, reach out to the folks at Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. It's all they do. You can call the guy that did your traffic ticket if you want to, but that's not what they do. SafeHarborWillsandTrust.com. Tom.
There we go. We're back with Anthony Tringale. He's the owner of EatLocalNewYork.com, has a passion for eating and then telling you about it. Hey, I ate this. And, well, you know what? That's one of the top conversations people have when they socialize.
Yeah.
They say, hey, geez, we went to this restaurant and boy, it was great.
Or it wasn't.
Yeah. So you kind of take the guesswork out of it. Where can people find you? You talk about your social media. Talk about all the areas people can find you.
Yeah, we're on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. And I think it was on the, anti-something social media account at one point or another. And really our website. We put most everything out on our website, which is eatlocalnewyork.com.
Okay. And when you do a TikTok and all that, what would you do? You show yourself eating a hamburger and say, this is really good.
Exactly.
I saw one. I saw one.
You could be a TikToker. You just did it so well.
I'm just guessing.
No, you were at a deli or somewhere. You're like, hey, this is a real sandwich. And he pulled it apart.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, look, there's actually meat in the sandwich, which was kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure. So we just started doing those this year. I hired Nicole, who's another fellow Instagrammer in the area, and she's been helping me put out just content every single day. And
it's a lot of work, man.
It's a lot of work to think of the idea and film it and edit it.
Yes.
And to be interesting.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Try to be interesting.
Yeah, it is. People don't realize to be good at it, you really... And you have to have a passion. That's the one thing that people try and it's contrived. Mm-hmm. They think, I want to be a part of that universe, but they're pushing it. But you seem to have a real big enthusiasm for what you do, and that probably comes through. Yeah, in your TikToks and your Instagram and all that.
For sure. It's, like I was saying, you don't want to say anything negative about a place. And so it's really exciting for me when I can go into a restaurant and find an owner or a cook or whoever it is that's producing the food that's equally as passionate about what they're doing and can put something out that's really creative.
But you're kind enough not to. And I mean that because, people that post reviews and things, I went there and the silverware had a spot on it. I'm like, you know what? Cut the guy some slack, will you? So there's a hey, if it's on your platform, it's a place worthwhile going to. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement.
And some are going to be better than others.
Yeah.
Do you find that most restaurants are receptive to having you come in?
Yeah, I think
Great
they are.
question.
Not too many. I will say this: I love Central New York, but if I go into like New York City or Buffalo or Rochester, bigger cities, they kind of see Instagrammers as like another branch of marketing, and so in Central New York, the owners really don't have that figured out quite yet. So.
Yeah, they might feel like, well, this person's going to bash me or something like that.
Yeah, that, and I went to New York City for a day, and when I got back and I'd gone eating at all these places, tagged these places, I got back, I had DMs from other restaurants. Hey, how much is it for a post? How much to have you come out and
so they saw they're seeing the value and they're seeing what it is.
Yeah,
because your stuff, you and I've watched several of the things. They're short enough to be interesting, long enough to be informative. And there's Tom, you're really good at time. When it comes to like in creation of commercials and things, you're like, it feels too long, or I'm trying to make a 15-second commercial with 2 minutes worth of data. It feels like a lot of folks online don't get the right timing.
Yeah, for sure. You really have to be fast paced nowadays, and you really have to be quick. I mean, a YouTube short is 60 seconds. And so you really I tried it, and we're trying to really stick within that 60 seconds for that style of content right now, for those, whether it be funny dessert videos or something delicious where I'm going out and trying a different sandwich or something at a restaurant.
What's the timing on the Instagram now? I know that they're doing video clips.
Yeah, you can do a minute and a half there.
Wow, a minute and a half.
I try to keep everything right now at 60 seconds. That way I can produce one video for YouTube and then put it everywhere. So.
Yeah. So some of your favorite restaurants around town. I mean, what do we got going? Yeah,
my favorite restaurant is Amano, without question.
I've never heard of it.
Amano. It's on Warren Street. It's actual Italian food. Alex and Lauren and Noah, the Fiocchi
So I'm right
family.
down. Where is it on Warren Street? 'Cause I don't know what either.
It's in Icon or Ion Tower building.
Icon. It's on the big building that used to be called something else. Yeah.
Delicious. I mean,
that narrows it down.
Yeah, some of the best food. St. Urban is obviously amazing. Eden, 100% wood-fired restaurant.
I don't know any of these places.
Those are the best. Those are the top 3 restaurants in Syracuse, without question.
Really?
Okay, so name them again, because Tom and I are going.
Yeah,
okay,
that's wonderful.
So Amano,
okay.
Yeah. Eden, which is the wood-fired restaurant.
So that's not Eat In.
No, Eden,
it's like eating the garden of.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then St. Urban, which is over on Westcott Street, which is like the finest dining French cuisine.
So it's right there with the other places on Westcott Street in that strip.
Yeah. So it's behind. It's right behind Rise and Shine. So there,
that Rise and Shine has gotten great reviews as well.
Yeah, one of the most creative restaurant owners, Danielle, does a phenomenal job, and she's really pushed the envelope in terms of creativity and food for the last 6 years plus in Syracuse.
Do you find that in our Syracuse area that they have real chefs that stick around? Because I always think of that business as turning over a lot.
I think we do, but I think a lot of like the real chefs here in Syracuse go under the radar. We just have a guy at our restaurant. Comes in, you'd never guess that he was nearly as talented as he is, just the way he looks. But he's been in the industry for 20 plus years, and one of the most talented guys I've ever seen before.
Well, and hang on, before we wrap things up, you have your own restaurant too?
Yeah, so
we didn't even talk about that.
It's called 3-1 Fried.
Okay.
And we're in North Syracuse, and it's just fried chicken sandwiches.
Well, I didn't know that, and I live up there, so I'll have to come over and visit you there.
Tom, you're not allowed to eat that.
Yeah, I know I'm not, really. Well, thank you, Anthony Tringale. Wonderful little story, and we'll have you on again. We'll send people over to your place, eatlocalnewyork.com. Check it out, and check them all over social media. You have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thank you.
All right. That's going to wrap things up, Steve.
Time to go ice fishing, no.
It's really great to have you back. So, enjoy the rest of your day. And God bless you and your families, folks. Try to get some vigorous activity every day and help out somebody who's a little less fortunate than you. The Local Show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1, and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about The Local Show right here on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising 3809.